I had to pretend to be white.
Yeah.
Your love, I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Blessed for the best, everyone. Wishing you all the best, and I hope you're wishing us the same. So, a little bit of behind the scenes is going on right now. I'm just still trying to get my stuff together on the other channel, the look I want to go for, and all of that. But more important than that, we made it to another day off, another set of day offs. I think just 2 right now, but still just in that mode where your Friday, you just get home whenever your Friday is. My Friday happens to be a Monday, but it's just, I know I don't have to get up to go to work tonight. I don't have to get up to go to work tomorrow. And I don't go back until Wednesday night. So just a blessed feeling. Just a relaxing feeling to know you have some time off. You're going to have some downtime, some time to invest. All the excitement that comes with days off. You tell yourself you're going to work out, you're going to do some constructive things. And sometimes you don't achieve those things. A lot of the time you don't achieve those things. But the promise of what can be is still very much there. Kind of like before, when I get ready to go to a party, no matter how much times we go there and leave empty-handed, blanking out, the man them will tell you that there's nothing like the hope that you're going to go there and meet somebody, or you're going to go to the party and it's going to be awesome. Sure, women have a version of that. Lisa's editing. I'm going to try and go outside and see if my solar lights will still give me something to be able to see what I'm doing. Also, maybe we're gonna figure out what we're doing for dinner. I think Lisa already had plans. I'm feeling lazy, so I would definitely be down if she's not willing to cook, but it depends. I think she was also going to cook something that I very much am in the mood for anyway, so that's the next thing. So yeah, we're just going to start some excitement now. Your beard looking kind of crazy. Hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll jump up and try to go barber or something like that. I would actually even go now, but I kind of feel kind of lazy towards that specific task. Plus, like, I'm sure like no one was expecting like I was just going to wake up out of my like sleep from work and be like, yes, self-care time, bye guys, see you later. So yeah, we're here now. Gonna probably go downstairs and maybe try and look about our patio set that we just got. An amazing deal, and a deal that I don't think in all fairness was supposed to be, but it is what it is. The retailers can definitely afford it. So what happened is, like, they're trying to make space in seasonal at Lowe's. Like, Lowe's is already setting up Christmas stuff. Literally, there's Christmas lights out already. We're like September 12th or something right now as I'm filming. And it's like, as I'm recording right now, it's like the 12th or something like that. And there's already Christmas lights out. Crazy. We're at the end of the year already. Yeah, so anyway, the thing is, they're trying to get rid of their summer stuff. So there was like a 50% off. So usually what happens when they do these percentages off for clearance, what they'll do is they'll do 50% off of the marked price or whatever, right? And sometimes it's not as disingenuous as this, but I've seen them do this. They'll have a sales price, then they'll bump it back up to an original price. And why I do air quotes on original prices, sometimes it was never that price, right? But they'll go to the original price and then they'll do 50% off of that, which still seems like a deal. But what happened is they marked it down to the yellow tag clearance price and then put up signs that said 50% off lowest mark price. So something that should have been like $500 or $600 was marked down to in the threes, right? To $300, and then 50% off of that. So you're getting it for $150. We got a whole patio set. Hopefully we can show you that. It should not, I don't want to doom this by making those like what can go wrong kind of statements. Should be a very easy and quick install. So yeah, so hopefully I can show you how outside has transferred. If you go back and watch previous vlogs, you can see we went from the light to the fan setup out there, probably even further back before the barbecue was there, but it's a transformation. It's still a small space, so obviously we can't overcrowd it with a lot of things, but we're able to get out of there with a fire pit slash tabletop and another table and a patio like 2-seater. So I have to give thanks for catching sales and those things. Anyway, let's go see what we can achieve downstairs. I'm also getting a little hungry, so let's go fix something to eat and then figure out everything else. The amount of joy that this you get out of just this bubble gun. Alrighty, so we're outside. Took a little while for me to get out here. Me and Kellan are here. Lisa is inside in the office right now. I suspect that she'll either spy on us with the Ring camera or she'll get curious at some point. She is working though, so you know, obviously shouldn't get distracted from work, but I'll come down before at least the sun goes down. But just to show you what's going on in the backyard, so one of our neighbors has put in a privacy fence, and I encourage it. You know, enjoy your yard. I wish we were fenced in, not because I want to keep neighbors out, but just because if it was fenced in, I would be a little bit more encouraging to let Kellan out here, not by himself obviously. I wish we were fenced as well, because not to like, you know, just kind of let out Kellan like he's a dog or something, but you know, he could run around freely without worrying about him running to the front or something like that, which is what I'm kind of turning my head on a swivel and making sure he's not doing. So the plan is I'm want to put some solar lights that kind of are going to go up against the fence, not into the property but against the fence, and take out this like black area that's there without affecting them. And we have the bench. That is a pretty easy fix, but realistically with Kellan out here, I might not get up tonight. I won't really have a big issue with. But my goal is I want to have this built so that on certain nights I can come out here and hold like a 15-minute meditation and stuff. So you see the beautiful backdrop of the sunset starting to get that nice pink color in the sky. My fear is that we're in September, so we're gonna start seeing the days get shorter soon as the year progresses. But for now, still enjoy the last of the dog days of like that summer, because you know summer never really ends in Florida. Anyway, enough chatting, let's get to work. Alright, so I might have jumped the gun earlier on showing you the sunset, because now we're getting that pretty sunset. That is the pretty sunset that I was talking about. That is the beauty of Florida. The lights are slowly starting to come on now. Let's finish up. I think I'm going to have to reluctantly use all 4 back here and maybe order more lights again. You guys will get to see how it looks at least at night. Alright, so as very much predicted, not done with the bench and table setup. This project's fairly easy, something like three parts and like couple screws and stuff like that. So it's nothing major, it's just that Kellan came inside. I did indeed end up using all 4 in the back here. What I'm going to have to do, other than try and maintain trimming that area so that the light kind of flashes up how I want it to, is probably order more lights, because the solar light there, so you can see a big difference between that like bluish kind of light and this like warm light color. So anyway, let's go look at the lights from upstairs. Come up, 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 up. I guess not. Come, you come in? No? Again, I know everybody is gonna be thinking like, bro, you ordered some lights off Amazon and put them in the ground. Like, what are you hyping about? Like I said, it's just the fact that like it's working just how I thought it would. It shouldn't be disturbing the neighbors in any which way, shape, or form. I am going to have to go out there and trim down that like area there so to make sure that the light will work effectively. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But that will just make back there not like pitch black, at least until the solar lights obviously lose illumination. Now I can make them a little dimmer and they'll last longer. I think they're on the brighter setting right now, but they're hitting the wall just where I think they would, and like I said, without disturbing the neighbors in any which way, shape, or form. It's not like it's flashing over the fence or anything, because their fence is at an elevated like kind of area there. So mission complete with that. Now on to more pressing matters. All right, so if you want to know that you share a connection with somebody, whether we're just on the same wavelength or I don't know what it is, but earlier I was saying to myself, yo, I could eat Mexican, which we still plan on trying to check out this place down in I think it's Haines City. Yeah, in Haines City. It's like on the way out of Davenport into Haines City. For some Mexican food on the weekend. But I was like, yo, I feel for Mexican or like weirdly like I was telling you, like cheap Chinese food, like you know, like one of them things that are gonna get a box of like a pound of like fried rice and those things. And here is the ultimately the kind of the merger of the two. Not cheap, but between the Mexican and the like Asian food. Lisa basically made like wonton nachos.
So it's like a Korean nachos. So I did ground beef and made it like a beef bulgogi, kimchi, and then fried wontons and yum yum sauce.
As good as it's looking. Now my only question is, what is yum yum sauce? Anyway, I'm about to dig in. So I will see you guys in a few. I'll probably carry you guys back outside. The good thing is it's not pouring with rain. I might be calling it down, but so even if it's like after bedtime, I can probably go outside and finish. Stay tuned watching me struggle through putting together stuff. But I really want you guys to be able to see the transformation of out there. It's a subtle thing. It's really coming together out there. My plan is to be able to sit out there on nights that it's not like drenching in the rain and do like a 15 minutes of just silence with like a glass in my hand and just kind of chill out. We'll try to find a way to record that and have you guys be able to kind of join in from home. Anyway, dinner time. See you guys in a little bit.
Watch the face. How's it going, boss? The face you're making, I think, tells a story.
Struggle story. So hopefully I can finally get past getting this through the two holes into the side of it. But I'll see you guys when we get to putting in the cushions, because that's the last part, the relaxing part.
Hey, what about the table? Still gonna do that. It looks really wide, but by the time you put the pillows on, it's not that wide. I was like, I could take a nap out here. Good job, babe.
No. If I'm gonna be honest with you, my problem is which way to put it, because I want to put it where my back is to the house and this way. I know it sounds paranoid, but yo, lifelong horror movie fans and
That
just
sound
general,
that sound a little kind of scary.
just general you know, just general paranoid people. You don't want to be relaxing and kind of getting into that, you know, eye closed and feel like somebody can walk up behind you. No.
And go boo.
Do more than say boo.
Yo, over there, can you see this, guys? Doesn't that look like a person?
Where?
Like a person's shadow, but it's a tree shadow, but it looks creepy. All right, next up, guys.
Alright, so we're all done. It's still obviously going to look a little messy with the box out here and some of the things to go around to the garage, but the chair is officially here, fully built. And the table, no, this need for go around. This need for go around, but as Jamaican people, it's like almost 2 in the morning, so we're also like, carry yourself in the house. Even though we're big adults now, we're still, what doing out there at that time? Don't know. The criminal element just wait and say, yo, it's 1:30. Alright, time to hit the streets. But I will say these little creepy things keep happening, like random phone presses that start videos in my pocket, and like the remote was in my pocket and it just turn off the light pressing up against my keys, or the AC come on and make some startling sound. So that's just me switching through the tones. But I'm very proud of the purchase so far with the solar lights, considering the fact that they didn't charge out in the sun all day, and it's like I said, it's almost 2 in the morning. If them get me till another hour of light, I'd be appreciative of that, because you know, from 4, 5, 6, then the sun coming up, if you go 3 hours without light out here, it is what it is. I am still kind of dumbfounded by how bright this light is. Granted, I have it on the brightest setting right now, but it's just kind of crazy, because I was concerned that it wasn't going to be as bright as the light out here before, and we're very serious about having on our lights. Can carry around this stuff into the garage and call it a night. So until the next time the camera rolls, I'll see you guys on the other side.
The next day.
So Dan is convinced that like there's gonna be all this emotion from watching this Little Mermaid official trailer, and it's not even the real trailer; it's like a teaser. But I'll be honest, I teared up seeing little girls watching it, and you know. But Ariel is my favorite princess. If you know me, you know. Little Mermaid is just has a special place in my heart. So I'm gonna watch it. Maybe Kellan will have a little reaction to it. I'm not gonna cry. Disney 100. And I'm wearing a Disney shirt. That looks really cool. The tail looks really cool. They really were like smart about that.
Kellan's actually watching this right now. I'm amazed by that. But I'm also happy that he can see.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. I think I get emotional because I couldn't have fathomed that as a kid, so I understand, you know. Like, you know, you I guess imagine yourself as a Disney princess as a kid, so to see like you have to watch it.
You just said like you couldn't fathom it, and like for him, I want it to be ordinary.
If you want to know why we started this, you have to have a mission, a purpose, and there's so much content. And when I say content, I'm talking about like things in the media and the news that don't highlight Black families, Black culture, just Black excellence. And I really want to normalize that. I want to normalize just us. We are a Black family. There are a million reasons why people start YouTube channels, but our reasoning to starting a YouTube channel. We want to show people that Black families exist, right? We have Black creatives that are even creating and putting out content that shows destructive Black families, toxic relationships, you know, and that's
Or
not,
even
that's
the
not
good
norm.
ones, even the good things in like just in a stereotypical form. It's like it's so weird that I feel like people understand the individualism of Caucasian. What's important is you know, you hear Kellan in the background. I want him to understand why it's important, but I want him to have it be ordinary. Like, he's been born post them having a Black president.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna be just frightened over the idea of them having a Black president. That's it's still an anomaly, unfortunately, but it's still a thing that's been achieved for him, right? And this is not to be comparable to like that heights of achievements of being like president of the United States. But why this is important is because why you just said about him, he looked at that and he's seeing that for the first time. But that's ordinary to him as he grows up. And like even the controversies and stuff where people are like, oh, it's just not accurate to the character and it's fake woke. Listen, I'm not gonna pretend that Disney isn't doing it consciously for that. Like, we're gonna offer diversity because diversity equals revenue.
Money, yeah.
Right? But the thing about that is, it doesn't matter what their motivation behind it is. It matters what their end result is. At the end of the day, what you said about that, I remember watching Batman and Superman and watching these characters, and outside of pretending to be a Ninja Turtle, that wasn't a race-based thing. This is a mutant turtle that I was pretending to be a mutant turtle, right? It didn't matter what color I was at that point. But watching Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and Wolverine and all those things, when we would pretend that we were those characters, older head cartoons like Centurions and Silverhawks or even those things, we would pretend to be it. And I remember one time, and it always stuck with me, and it was important that this person said that to me. I don't even remember who it was. It was like one of my uncles or something. We were playing, I was like, say I'm pretending I'm Batman, and it's like I did the whole like I'm Batman and whatever like line, right? And he kind of like, he didn't stop me, but he was like, oh, so you're Black Batman, right? And I remember it kind of like threw me out of the like the imagination in the moment, because I was like, no, I'm not Black Batman, I'm Batman. Like, I don't have to. And in my own head, I was justifying it as like, no, I'm just Batman. But what I realized in that moment is like, when I'm pretending to be Superman and Batman and all these things, as a minority kid, I had to pretend to be white. I had to imagine myself as this white person. And to be able to look at somebody, like, people are like, why do you make such a huge deal out of like T'Challa and those things? Because we finally don't have to pretend to be another version of it, or do what my uncle was saying, which is be the Black Batman. We just get to be Ariel in this situation. We just get to be Black Panther. I don't have to pretend to be
Blade,
the Black Iron Man or the Black Batman, or pretend to be another race or imagine myself as another race. Also, I understand for the white child that's going to watch this, they're going to have to go through that. And maybe that'll open their mind to the experiences of how you can erase other people from your thoughts. Because I don't think, how many white people do you think growing up watching the Ninja Turtles and Batman and played along with me, my own white friends growing up, thought about like, wow, like, I didn't have to watch a character and pretend to be, I was still pretending to be Bruce Wayne, but I didn't have to pretend to be a whole nother person altogether.
So that is the challenge to everyone out there who is listening to this. Think about who's, you know, who is another race, right? Grew up watching Jem and like wanting to be Jem.
Or just like how we had Barbies. You had 10,000 Barbies.
Yeah.
I knew so many black girls growing up in Jamaica who had Barbie. And nobody wanted the black Barbie, really. Right?
Because
of the
I'll be
standard.
honest, like at that
That
time,
wasn't
the
Barbie.
accessories weren't really that great, right?
Yeah.
Black Barbie had like
And there
just
was no
basic
cultural
hair.
difference. It was the
Yeah.
same hair on there. There wasn't a hair
Yes.
texture difference.
Really,
No.
big up to Mattel. You are next level. You have black Barbies of all different shades, all different hair textures, all different styles, for everything from punk all the way to the elegant ball gowns. So there is diversity in Mattel. Maybe they just got some staff members that were like, oh, you need to bring it up a notch. But those are things that little brown girls, black girls are going to walk into the store and feel seen. And that's hard. You know, I'm emotional about it because
Yo,
I know it. I've experienced it. So to think like there's a generation of kids that will never.
But like I remember even as a kid like watching something like Ghostbusters, right? Now imagine how many Ghostbusters are there, right? You know, it just in thought. Now how many black Ghostbusters are there? There's one character.
Okay, so that's the debate, right? Is he a Ghostbuster or is he the driver?
No,
'Cause
he's definitely
we've had people debate
listen,
that.
that's not even a debate. He is
debate that.
definitely a Ghostbuster. I don't know
Yeah, I've heard people debate that.
Right, if you
I
are
consider him a
debating
Ghostbuster.
his legitimacy as a Ghostbuster, now, if you're arguing if is he a scientist, that is
Okay.
a legitimate argument because he's, you know, I wish they had made him a scientist, but he's not a scientist. But he's not a Ghostbuster is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, he's a Ghostbuster. But like even the arguing the legitimacy of the black character as a Ghostbuster, think about that. We're watching something like that, or we're watching like G.I. Joe or something, right? There's one black character, right? Now imagine 4 or 5 black boys watching, young black boys watching this cartoon, and like obviously the oldest and most dominant of is gonna be like, yo, I'm Heavy Duty. Heavy Duty was like one of the G.I. Joes, was one of the black G.I. Joes, right? Like everybody else that's gonna pretend now when we play G.I. Joes or Ghostbusters is essentially going to pretend to be white now because they're going to play Ray, or you're gonna be Egon, or you're gonna be, you know, like you're not gonna be able to just be like you have to take that further step into the imagination and be out of yourself, your racial identity, just to be that person. It seems overly like taking it so seriously, and I remember there was the same argument with like, why are people acting like Black Panther is so important, and it's like, you know, if you don't get it, you really never had to experience what that's like. That's why you don't get it. Like, is Black Panther the greatest Marvel movie that has ever been made? Probably not. But the importance of it, the cultural significance of just that to someone who just even if it's just for the one movie, didn't have to watch a movie where they either have to find the one character, and you better like him, you better like Heavy Duty. Gears of War, I was playing Gears of War, there's one black character. Yeah, they had some diversity. They had another like Native American character. They had like a Hispanic character. But again, if you don't like that character.
So yeah, you know what gets me about people is like, I would never deny someone of their person. Like for us, if this is our one, like, wow. Into the Spider-Verse, you know, like that's one of my favorites. So that's like Kellan's costume for Halloween this year. I love that movie. Like I really loved it because it represented like, he's an Afro-Latino boy, and it's like for Afro-Latinos, they're gonna watch the Spider-Verse, Encanto, and they feel like that is me. They are going to look at some character in that movie and feel like, yo, that looks like Tia.
Yeah, I don't have to force them like that one character. Where I don't have to have an even further suspension of disbelief. And it's the same thing with why, like, we need women representation. Women want to watch Batman and this and that, but little girls are gonna have to go and pretend that, like, oh, I'm like the female Batman, I'm Batgirl, even though there is a Batgirl and she's not at the same level as Batman. So I understand what that's like, and that's why it's important. And it's like, yo, listen, if it's
I
not
just
for
don't
you,
understand why people fight it though.
because again, when you've been visible for your whole life, the second that you have to deal with what we deal with constantly, it's so foreign to you. You're like, why you gotta change it?
But we're
blah,
not
blah, blah.
taking.
And
We're
it's
not
like,
taking away. Like we're not telling Disney, okay, the old original, which I fell in love with, burn it, take it off the catalog. You
like,
still have it.
What I don't understand with this too is, like, I didn't watch this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? But like, I remember when it was coming out and they're like, oh, we're gonna change Shredder to Colonel Schrader, and they were gonna like Americanize the hell out of it.
Why?
I don't know, but it was like one of the rumors or one of the things that had come out, right? And like some of the fan base was getting upset about it, and I was like, you're messing with my childhood. You know what? Like,
It's okay.
You can just vote with not supporting it. Like, don't go watch the movie. Yeah. And those movies, the one thing they're gonna be even more loyal to than their own ego is, oh, we didn't make any money off of this. But for me, it's like, it doesn't change my childhood. It doesn't change my childhood.
Yeah.
You going and making a remake and ruining Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles doesn't do anything for the Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello that I grew up on, right? Yeah. Me learning about how the original Ninja Turtles all had red doesn't change the purple and the thing that I grew up on. Me learning, like, years later, them doing a serious comic book, the Last Ronin, where like all the Ninja Turtles like die and there's only one of them and it's a mystery to find out which one.
They should make that movie.
That doesn't change how I grew up on the Ninja Turtles. It doesn't rob me of the Ninja Turtles. It just is another version in another, like,
another universe.
Yeah, that doesn't, that if I don't want to watch and I don't want to accept, it doesn't go back. Like, people act like, no, it's going to go back and erase my childhood and replace my childhood back in the 80s and 90s with this new version. And it's like, no, it's not. Just don't watch it if it's not for you. If you feel like it's not for you, it's going to upset you. It's going to take you out of the suspension of belief that she's no longer a half fish, half person. I don't know. Then just don't watch it. Like,
don't watch it.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
Like, I just don't understand how, if something is bringing somebody else that kind of like happiness, you can be so upset, and then like people getting to the point where they're like, oh, it doesn't follow the mythology and this and that. And I've even seen somebody trying to back it up with science about how sunlight doesn't go down. I was like, bro, we're talking about a fish person who doesn't have anatomically doesn't have a bottom half. The original story doesn't have the same ending as Disney. So were you mad at that they put a happy ending in the Disney version? Because it doesn't have a happy ending, and the whole thing is an allegory for being in love with someone that you're not allowed to because of the original person and struggling with their sexuality and a whole bunch of other stuff.
For real?
That's what the whole story is about. But does that ruin the Disney Ariel that you grew up on? Why? No, it shouldn't. Because that's the one that you had. Yeah. You really ate that whole bag of chips?
Yes, this is why I have to take the back from him and give him half on his plate.
Yo, just to sum it up, like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. There'll be another movie for you. Trust me. They like your money. They'll get back to you. You'll have content again. Relax. It brings people happiness. It's important, and I don't think people see how important it is. Like, we're arguing over, like, what?
A mythical
she's supposed
character.
to be, yeah, she's supposed to be from here. Okay, but she's hanging out with a Caribbean crab though. So is she in the Caribbean? Because then, are you telling me you don't think she's brown, but she's swimming around in the Caribbean then? Or like, what are we talking about? Like, come on, bro. Like,
all right, guys.
Anyway, until we turn the camera on again.
Love, I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about